Composure, toughness, resiliency, and connection. It can't just mean something to you when you win. That was some of what Kirby Smart said to his team in the locker room after the SEC championship game against Alabama on Saturday. The Tide winning 27-24, or whatever the score was, 3 points, whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think this is what makes Kirby a superb coach. I've got a lot to say about this, generally speaking, so stick with me. But uh, what having been around a lot of coaches, having played for very good coaches, and all these things through the years, what makes Kirby different now? I think what's really elevated him is the last word in that is connection. He's talking about composure, toughness, resiliency, and connection. It can't just mean something to you when you win. In many ways, after losses, that should fortify what you stand for. Actually, it should push you towards what you believe more. Because wins are easy. I mean, not all wins are, but the way Georgia wins, those are beatings usually. It's the tough ones. It's the losses, and there's been a lot of I don't know what the word is, wondering these days, these last couple of days. But I don't think there's really a lot to wonder about. I mean, I think Alabama won a game because it got two out of the biggest plays of the game right. Well, they got one of them right very specifically, which was recovering a fumble. Officials missed a call on a play that should have been an incompletion, and then Georgia missed a field goal clanking off the bar. This was not some sort of domination. This was not that Alabama played great and Georgia didn't. It wasn't that Georgia played great and Alabama didn't. They both played fine. And I mean, like, it wasn't unbelievable on either side, but I think that's irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is you got to get this right all the time, and that's the hardest part. And when you see foes that are your equal, I mean, Georgia and Alabama are equals. I mean, that's just what it is. Whether people want to admit that or not, I don't know. But what Nick has done such a great job for decades now, that Kirby, I think we don't get to see as much of Nick as we do, it seems like, of Kirby, because we don't get to see much of either of them behind the scenes. But what Kirby gets right here is, and I think what separates him from a lot of coaches that talk this, but he really does connect with those guys. And now I see it. I do. And because I'm around it more than most people are. I'm not around it in a way that puts me in the program, no. But I see it a lot, and he does have connection with those guys. And that is what's going to get them, probably more national championships, plural. I can't speak to Nick and his connection with players. It does not seem as tight as Kirby is with his, but there's an age gap there. And what Nick does so well is something that Kirby needs to improve on, okay, which is in-game stuff. But you're talking about the best two coaches in football. I mean, Kirby, Nick, Dawn Staley, Gino Auriemma, Manny Diaz. These are people who are Manny Diaz, the tennis coach at Georgia, for the record. These are people who are exceptional at what they do. And there's reasons why I don't know if Dawn's won multiple national championships, but she will. There's reasons why they're so good. And I think as someone who has experienced a terminal loss in their life in sports, it's very hard to leave the field, man. I mean, it's hard to stop playing for the last time. And it's even more crushing for those players who are getting up at 5:30. Everybody's talking about, well, money's ruining sports and money's ruining college athletics. No, it's not. Y'all either sound old or ridiculous. Look at that game the other day. Where was the money there? Jalen Milroe, someone who, was like, I don't remember Jalen Milroe being recruited. I'll put it to you that way. I remember Bryce Young. I remember, all these other guys. I only remember Carson Beck because he went to Georgia. Otherwise, people wouldn't think about Carson. This is about what happens on the field. This is not about preconceived notions of, I don't like something, so I'm going to say that it's ruining something. No, That's not what's going on at all. In that locker room, it didn't matter if those guys got paid or not. It was about the work that they had done to get to that moment, and they didn't get it. Now that's as much a story as working all the time and getting it done. I am not going to write a book about the 2023 season, but it might be a better story. Now that's just the truth. Now that's the part that's hard to celebrate. Is it is challenging to win it all, even when you're the best team. And Georgia was the best team this season. They're probably still the best team, but they will not play for a national championship. And that's something that they will have to reconcile. And I think that and Georgia's fans will too. And Alabama has been the best team before and not won the national championship. They know what that feels like as well. And I mean, I have other stuff to say about that, but look, there's nothing bad to say about Nick, Bama. There's some silliness. It's always on the perimeter of these games. The way players act, people talking heads, but that's below the fray. That's irrelevant. These two are going to continue to clash, and they're going to go back and forth in games. These are always total roller coasters. They are total fights, and you can get into the minutia of other things in the future, but it may be that, Georgia's not in Alabama's way at some point. It may be that Alabama's not in Georgia's way at some point. But usually they're going to be in each other's way. I mean, you look at 17, 18, 21, 22, and 23. All five of those situations, Georgia and Bama have played each other on the way in a terminal game for the national championship. And three of those times, and perhaps four, we don't know what's going to happen this season, that the winner of that game has gone on to win the national championship. So this is not stopping. I think there's so much that you can gather from what Kirby said to his team on Saturday. I think it was a superb job of coaching. He really should let people see what he says more often. He should not just be characterized. Kirby, when you're listening, if you're listening, or someone gets this snippet to him, don't let it be that you are categorized by leaked audio of you because you're passionate. Let people see other stuff as well. And this is a good example of showing how good a coach he is. And Nick should be the same way. Future coaches should watch these guys coach and listen. Hey, listen to me. This Eco Poly porch rocker, awesome. Look at those. Look at those colors. It's exactly what you want for your so-called man cave, or your outdoor, or your patio, or if you're celebrating the dogs. If y'all have a place in Athens, congratulations on your success with your beach house, your mountain house, your lake house, your house in Tucker or Avondale Estates or wherever you live. Okay, you didn't think I was going to Avondale Estates today, but I did. Our friends in Dodge County, Eco Poly, what they're doing is impressive. That the chairs are so nice and comfortable is one thing, but what they're doing just for the area, Dodge, Eastman, heart of Georgia, it's wonderful, and we need more folks like that out there doing what they're doing in manufacturing. All this you can't see this chair this second, but this chair is made completely in Georgia, in Dodge County. And the only thing that's not made are the screws. That's it. It's all recycled plastics made there with a 20-year warranty. The link to that is down below. I think, if we need to see more of this, in my opinion, because, Kirby is not exclusively rage guy. And neither is Nick, by the way. And, my coach in college was very much the way those two guys are with emotions, and the way that he would, just some of the stuff, which I'm not going to repeat, which was not cussing or screaming at guys, but just the way that he would celebrate us. Kirby's celebrating that team, man. I mean, did they fail this season? I mean, has this been a failure? Man, it's hard to categorize it like that, to be honest. I'm exhausted and maybe I'm saying that too much. I don't know what it's like for the guys on the team, but I know I'm straight up exhausted because these seasons are long. They seem to be getting longer, and the losses, if they exist, are difficult. Okay, there's been a lot of change since Georgia last lost. They've gone through. This is their third quarterback that started since that. This is, you know, a long time. Excuse me, since they lost a terminal game in a season, because 2021 SEC championship, that was not a terminal game. I'm talking about Jacksonville in 2020. That's how long it's been. Okay, that's an extremely long time. That's the election of 2020 was how long ago that was. We were in the middle of COVID. That's how long it's been. So there's some perspective lost along the way. Georgia lost the game because they deserved to lose the game. They didn't do what they had to do in the exact moment when they had to do it. Alabama did. If Georgia doesn't miss a field goal, if Georgia doesn't turn it over, just those two things, forget the missed call, they probably win the game. But they didn't, and and we don't know what we don't know. But Alabama spent 2 years talking about how what would have happened if receivers. So it's fair game as far as I'm concerned. But that's not how it's played. What happened. That's it. Alabama's going to go on. I think it's great for them. But I think that what Georgia should appreciate is not just the screaming and yelling of Kirby. It's more than that. And I think that this video shows it.